If you could travel at the speed of a commercial airplane to the nearest star to Earth, do you know how long it would take? 5 million years. 5 million years flying non-stop. And that's just the nearest star. We're talking about distances so absurd that they defy human comprehension itself. While we dream of colonizing Mars or exploring Jupiter's moons, there's a much greater barrier that we haven't even been able to scratch, definitively leaving our solar system and reaching other stars. But why is this so impossible? Why, in an era when we carry supercomputers in our pockets and send robots to other planets, are we still trapped in this small corner of the universe? The answer will shock you. Today, we're going to discover why interstellar travel might be humanity's most impossible dream. We're going to dive into the brutal obstacles that make Star Wars a fantasy distant from reality, the tyranny of distances, the energy nightmare, the deadly limitations of our own bodies, and the cruelest barrier of all, time that simply doesn't forgive. We live in an illusion of space conquest. Since we put the first satellite in orbit in 1957, it seems like we're dominating the cosmos. We reached the moon, sent rovers to Mars, have telescopes that see distant galaxies. But here's the inconvenient truth. All these grand achievements happened within a ridiculously small space. It's as if we were celebrating being able to leave our backyard when we actually want to cross entire continents. Our most distant probes, like Pioneer and Voyager, took decades to just leave the sun's direct influence. And even so, they barely scratched the surface of what would be a true interstellar journey. Let's put this in perspective in a way you'll never forget. If Earth were the size of a ping-pong ball, the sun would be a sphere almost 6 feet in diameter, located 500 feet away. On this scale, Pluto would be about 4 miles away. Sounds far? Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor, would be 25,000 miles away. It's literally like trying to see a coin from the other side of the planet. And we're talking about the nearest star. The center of our galaxy? On a proportional scale, it would be billions of miles away. It's enough to make your brain implode. So you think, simple, just go faster. It's not quite like that. Our most advanced propulsion technology can push objects to speeds of a few tens of thousands of miles per hour. Sounds like a lot, but it's pathetic on a cosmic scale. Light travels at 186 million miles per second. To reach just 1% of that speed, a spacecraft would need more energy than all of humanity's annual energy production. For 10% the speed of light, you'd need energy equivalent to detonating hundreds of hydrogen bombs continuously. And even achieving this impossible technological feat, it would still take decades to reach the nearest destination. It's like trying to empty an ocean with a teaspoon. Scientists propose fascinating ideas: nuclear fusion engines, solar sails propelled by giant lasers, even exotic concepts like space warp. Everything seems promising on paper. But reality is brutal. Controlled nuclear fusion, which would be our dream engine, is still a maybe after 70 years of research. Lasers powerful enough to propel a spacecraft would require energy equivalent to small countries. And space warp? That requires exotic matter that might not even exist. It's like a caveman dreaming of flying. Technically possible, but separated by technological abysses that might take millennia to overcome. Suppose that, by miracle, we solved all the technical problems. We'd still have to deal with the fact that our bodies are terribly inadequate machines for space. Cosmic radiation is lethal. We're not talking about a suntan, we're talking about doses that destroy DNA, cause cancer, and literally fry the nervous system. A decades-long journey would be a death sentence by radiation. The absence of gravity melts our bones and muscles. Astronauts lose significant bone density in just a few months. And we haven't even talked about the mind. Total isolation, claustrophobia, complete disconnection from everything we know. Studies show that missions of just a few years already cause severe psychological problems. An interstellar journey would be a psychological torture experiment on an epic scale. In trying to solve these problems, increasingly extreme ideas emerge. Generational ships where entire families are born, live, and die during the journey. Artificial hibernation for centuries. Consciousness transferred to computers. But let's be honest, these solutions are more desperate than realistic. How do you convince future generations to live in a space prison for a mission they didn't choose? How do you preserve a human brain functioning for 200 years? How do you transfer something we don't even know what it is? Consciousness. These are scientific fantasies disguised as serious plans. But even if we solved all these impossible problems, we'd still run into the cruelest barrier: time. Einstein taught us that time isn't fixed. At extremely high speeds, time passes more slowly for the traveler. This means an interstellar journey would literally be a one-way trip through time. The explorers could age just a few years while centuries pass on Earth. When they returned, if they returned, they'd find a completely different world. Their families would have been dead for generations. Their civilization would be unrecognizable. It's the most absolute loneliness imaginable. Being alive, but forever separated from everything you knew and loved. Maybe that's why we never found signs of other civilizations. Not because they don't exist, but because they all face the same physical prison we do. The universe might be full of intelligent civilizations, all trapped in their own solar systems, looking at the stars and dreaming of the impossible. Like prisoners in separate cells, we know others exist, but we'll never be able to meet. It's a dark answer to Fermi's paradox. We're not alone, just eternally isolated by the relentless laws of physics. But maybe, just maybe, we haven't discovered everything about the universe yet. Maybe there are physical phenomena we don't yet understand, shortcuts through space-time that make interstellar travel possible. The history of science is full of impossibles that became routine. Flying was impossible until it wasn't. Instant communication around the world was fantasy until it became reality. Who knows if the obstacles that seem insurmountable today are just challenges waiting for the right minds, at the right times, with the right tools. For now, we remain here, on our small cosmic island, looking at the infinite ocean of stars and dreaming of distant shores we might never reach. But maybe that's what makes us human, the ability to dream of the impossible, even knowing it might be eternally impossible. And who knows, in the very act of dreaming, we might find a way to make dreams reality. And you? Do you believe that one day we'll be able to break these seemingly insurmountable barriers? Or are we doomed to be eternal prisoners of our solar system? Leave your opinion in the comments. Let's debate this fascinating question together. If this video made you reflect on the limits of space exploration and our position in the cosmos, leave your like and subscribe to the channel. We have much more content exploring the deepest mysteries of the universe waiting for you. Until the next journey through the impossible.